Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be checking out the X-2 transmitter antenna array, which is located in the southern part of Old World Blues in the Big MT. Now this location is extremely similar to that of Fallout 3's SatCom Array NW-05a, or, the location in Fallout 3 where there's highwater trousers, which are a bunch of nukes that come raining down. It's pretty awesome. I did cover that location in the Unexplored Capital Wasteland, so I'll leave that video in the description below. But the interior of this location and that location are extremely similar, so that's pretty, they probably just kind of copy and pasted and changed some of the interior. But besides that, let's go ahead and check out X-2. And as I said, it's in the far southern part of the map, directly south of the sink. Now, as I was making my way here, I was attacked by several lobotomites, so be prepared for quite a fight as you make your way here. Now, there is this large pipe which allows you to stay elevated for most of your journey towards X2, which is pretty convenient for fighting these guys that only have melee weapons. However, they will try to run away from you like so. So eventually I did drop down, and then I shot him from down here, and eventually killed this lobotomite. Now over here, we just kind of have this irradiated pond area, and we can see some pipes going into the ground. Perhaps that has something to do with the water here. And there's also a wooden crate, but there's really nothing of interest within that crate. And as I got closer to X2, I continued to be assaulted by lobotomites. I have to say this experience is pretty jarring or haunting, because these guys just keep coming out of nowhere and they keep attacking you. It's kind of intimidating. You feel like you're always being watched in the Big MT, that is for sure. And eventually you fight the Y-17 Drama Override harnesses. These guys are really creepy. In case you didn't know, these were created in the Y-17 medical facility of the Big Empty, and the goal of these bodysuits were to retrieve injured soldiers and return them to their home base by automatically taking over their motor functions and walking them to the base. However, there was kind of a malfunction with the suits, and the suits never let their occupants out, creating this kind of prison and forcing those inside to die a very slow and painful death. And the suits are still operating, though, just fine after almost 200 years, still carrying the rattling bones or skeleton of its victims. It's quite traumatizing and quite scary. But as we enter, we'll notice on the front door of the array building that it has an old world red flag symbol on it, left by Ulysses. Now, this facility is guarded by several Protectron Mark 6s. These guys are pretty tough. Even the pulse gun is not so effective against them. Normally, like in the Mojave, the pulse gun is the best weapon against robots. However, here I just kind of resorted to my anti-material rifle, but you can see, even with the anti-material rifle, these guys are pretty freaking tough. Now, as far as important loot, perhaps the most important thing we can get at this facility, besides, of course, the main quest, is the sync project, the light switch, allowing us to attach the AI or personality to light switch 1. So make sure you pick that up on the first floor next to the coffee maker. Then as we make our way up, there's pretty much two exits. There's a ladder and a door, which kind of leads to the cliffside next to the array. However, for now we want to take the ladder for the purpose of the main quest. Also, there are these foot lockers on the top floor, which contain random ammunition, so make sure you look inside of those. And then we can take the ladder up to the very top. And up here, there is a kind of ladder or staircase that takes us to the very top of the array. And here we can find the X-2 antenna, which upon taking, Dr. Morbius will be very angry.
Trying to steal the X-2 transmitter array antenna, are you? You won't succeed. Not if my lethal robo-scorpions have any say in the matter.
And after you take the X-2 array, the facility will be attacked by Dr. Morbius's scorpions. So make sure you are ready. These guys are actually pretty difficult to kill. As you'll see here, there was a scorpion waiting for me, and these robo-scorpions were, well, they took a lot of bullets for me to kill. Now after this, I decided to head out the side entrance in order to exit, and outside there were even more robo-scorpions waiting for me. So make sure you're ready for a bit of a small fight after you take that X-2 array. Now I wanted to point out that these guys are tough. They're kind of immune to the pulse gun. Not immune, it'll still deal damage, but it's not nearly as effective as you might be used to. I even switched to explosive rounds with the anti-material rifle, but man, these guys can still take a few hits. They are quite tough, I have to say. Now after that, I was able to easily leave the facility just on this little bridge over here, which takes you to the cliffside. A pretty easy and fast escape. And then we are well on our way to continue our adventure across the Big MT. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I don't really know why I went to X-2 first. Kind of just the first thing I saw, and I was like, sure, that makes sense, let's go for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are excited for more Old World Blues content. As always, if you have any recommendations or ideas for future videos, please post them in the comment section below. And, as always, until next time.